3 years younger than Tori, whatever that is. This is kind of the standard. It helped make sure that whatever they're doing, win, loss, good, bad, good coach, bad coach, win, all that stuff didn't matter. It was something they could control. And then now let's move forward a little bit. Maddie's leaving. Well, here's exactly what happened. She got on a club team that was an area team. An area in California means you're not playing in the big tournaments, right? You're sticking within your area. There was this other, instead of going to nationals, you went to this other thing in Reno, kind of everybody gets a trophy type tournament. And we're leaving that tournament. And Maddie's the second-rated breaststroker in the country. She had just toyed around with volleyball. She was terrible. I mean, she'll be the first to tell you. She was awful. We would sit outside the pool, and she would try to serve overhand over the pool, and she couldn't get over the pool. This is 12s. And we're leaving. She goes, Dad, I love this. Now, remember, she's not very good at it. She goes, I love this. I want to stop swimming and play volleyball, beach volleyball, and I'll still play around a little bit of basketball. I'm like, sweetie, you do whatever you want to do. Just remember, if we do it, this is the standard. And that kind of began the volleyball journey. Because then whatever Maddie did, Tori wanted to do. Whatever Tori did, Delaney wanted to do.
Yeah.
And we go down this volleyball world. And we're very lucky to be in the Bay Area with great clubs, great coaches, really good people. And, that's kind of how this Dilfer volleyball thing started. So I think what you're really getting to, because she played for you, was Tori. Maddie had a great club experience. She played for the best coaches, the best teams, top 50 recruited by everybody, blah, blah, blah. Tori, the club was kind of going down at the time. They used to have a bunch of Division I prospects out of this club. They're going to Cal and Stanford and, UCLA and all this. That was kind of Maddie's track. Well, Tori gets caught up in more club competition, girls leaving the Bay Area to go play for other teams. So the talent kind of got dispersed a little bit. So Tori's group, although, national level, kind of bottom. And it was really effective for Tori because she saw what her sister did, and she was always wanting to win like her sister. But the standard of EAF really helped her because winning wasn't the goal. It was the process. It was how you handled the standard, win, lose, draw, bench, not bench, 6-2, 5-1, miss serve, make serve, whatever it is. The results was, I don't want to say lessened, but it was a supporting actor to the main actor, which was how did you stand up to the standard? And then I think that really helped Delaney, because then Delaney got to see older sister super successful from a team standpoint, middle sister not as successful from a team standpoint, but still successful overall. I think she had the best approach to club and was more freed up by it because she got to see both parts of it. And still the standard was what our family talked about more than sitting at the dinner table and being like, oh, she can't hit the slide and, we can't run a go. And, she keeps missing her serves. It became, none of that mattered. What mattered was, how do I handle my business and how do I handle the standard? I think that's why the coaches always really appreciate our girls, because they didn't point the finger. They weren't mad at others. They were always looking at themselves first and how they could better serve their team and be better teammates.
Yeah. And so when you talk about the values, and so when you talk about the values, and I wrote them down here. So you have effort, energy, attitude, and focus. Delaney added focus, right?
Yes.
So now, do you feel like when you created those, you were like, okay, that's a reflection of me and my wife, and then this is how we're going to raise our kids? But then you said it was kind of collaborative too. It kind of all
Delaney
came about.
I think most of this has come from lessons learned from failures. I'm not a big believer in losses if you can turn them into learns. Now, listen, nobody wants to win more. My girls would tell, I'm an assassin when it comes to competing. But I've learned over all my failures that you better learn from them and you better pay it forward. And my girls would all tell you this. something we talked about all the time. Well, some of them just want
to feel the love.
They want to feel the love. So when Penn State and UCLA, I remember talking to Mike, right?
It was Mike at the time.
Yeah, Mike at the time. Oh man, her ego just gets big. Like, oh, everybody wants me again. And she's lining up her trips. But then you guys jumped in, and whatever you guys said, and I don't remember the whole thing, hooked her. And we went out to that trip in Louisville, and you guys were brutally honest. And Danny, I remember sitting in Danny's office, and Danny's like, we'd love to have you, but this ain't no spot now. In fact, she had to walk on. I mean, she had to, it wasn't a scholarship the first semester.
No, it wasn't.
And she was like, Dad, I'm like, yeah, if you want to chase this dream, I'm all about hard things. Like I love the coaches. The Louisville was great. I did buy what you guys were selling, how good you were going to be. Like you were just starting to turn the corner at that point. But the thing that got me was when Tori got back on the plane and was like, I need something hard. I need to fight for something. I need to be around others that think like me. And I'm like, she's learned the right lessons. Like, I don't know where this is going to go, but I do know it's going to get the best out of her. And it ended up getting the best out of her.
Crazy. And I mean, she hopped on right at you could look at so many different pivot points, and Tori was a massive one for us. And I remember that too, where we felt like, man, we are right on the cusp. And we had a great setter at the time who was going into, I think she maybe was an incoming freshman.
Yep.
We're going to 2019 here. And it was like, you could come here and get beat out by a freshman, and now you're a junior who got beat out by a freshman. You could come and set in a 6-2, or you could win this spot, and we have a great roster. And she was like, let's go. And it ended up, it wasn't like the perfect journey. I think people probably look at Tori's experience here and it was like, oh, she transferred, and then they like were awesome right away. And it was, no, we went 5-1 with, the other player. We went 6-2, then we went 5-1 with Tori, and then we just caught fire at the end of the year.
She got the concussion. John Gordon wants me to write a book with him on this. And I don't get much credit for it. I evolved it, but Maddie came up with it, and it's called Coach's Hat. And of all the things we've done, and of all the things I could beg parents to do, this would be the thing I'd beg them to do. Maddie's 14. We go back to after that summer club. She goes and sets for a high school that has never won a league match. And Mitty's in the league that's won 11 state championships. And Mitty wanted her to go there. And she goes, no, I want to go somewhere and build their own program. So she's 14 years old. She's playing with all these 18-year-olds. She's terrible. I pick her up from a practice in September. I'm flying back from ESPN back and forth, but I'd always pick up the girls post-practice starting Tuesday through Friday. And then I'd leave again for ESPN. And she gets in the car and she melts down. I mean, bawling. And these girls are mean. They're talking about this. I'm not very good. I'm getting yelled at, blah, 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 blah. And just bawling. And I go into fix it mode, man. I'm dad of the year. I'm going to fix it all. I got advice. I'm prepped for this. I've seen this coming. And I start just spitting wisdom, man. And she looks at me with these alligator tears and she goes, Daddy, I just need you to listen to me. I don't need any advice right now. And I was broken. I start crying. We're on the highway in San Jose, and my eyes are flushed with tears. Her eyes are flushed with tears. And I got this hat sitting on my dashboard because I'm a bald guy. I always need a hat available. And I go, sweetie, I don't want to make that mistake again. I'm so sorry. Will you forgive me? I need to know when I should be coach or when I should be dad. And she goes, why don't we do this, Daddy? Why don't you always be dad? And then when I need you to be a coach, you can put on a hat, a coach's hat, and then I'll take the coaching. I went, that's brilliant. So we started this thing called Coach's Hat. And what that means, parents, is that you are a parent all the time. Non-negotiable. You're not there. You're not fixing. You're listening. You're absorbing. You're taking it in. But when they ask you to put on the coach's hat, and I would physically put it on. This is not metaphorically. I'd physically put on the coach's hat. Now I'm coach. Now you got to take the coaching. Because there's a lot of times I said, quit your whining, you little brat. Work harder. be tougher, be a better teammate. But they asked for it. Now they had to receive it. Brilliant. I mean, this thing, Maddie was brilliant coming up with this. This got us through pretty much everything. EEAF and Coach's Hat, and they do combine, are the two things that I hope our family's legacy is built on. And here's where it came up with Tori. She takes that hit in the face. She loses. And now the other setter comes in, plays really well. You guys are winning. I'm frustrated. I'm coaching at the time. I'm fixing things. I'm doing all this stuff. And I'm like, my daughter's better than this girl. Right? Like, I was pissed. I don't think I've ever told you or Danny this.
I haven't heard this story.
Pissed that you guys hadn't put Tori back in. At least gave her a shot. At least go back to the 6-2 or rotate or whatever. I kind of had an eye for setting at the time. I'd gone through this journey. I'm not saying I know more than you guys, but I'm like, this is crap. And I called Tori one day out of the blue. I'm like, you got to go sit with Danny and Dan. You got to have a conversation with them. And I just start getting after her about, why aren't you fighting harder for this? You're healthy. You've been cleared. You're physically blah, 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 blah. I'm going off. She goes, Dad, shut up. I didn't ask you to put the coach's hat on, and hangs up on me.
Jeez.
Hangs up on my butt. My girls don't hang up on me. And I sat there in my chair as a coach. I'm like, oh my gosh, I violated our family rule. I text her, apologize. I blew the coach's hat thing. I'm wrong. You're right. Can we talk again? She calls me back. She gives me the greatest 5 minutes of, I asked for hard. I trust these coaches. I trust this team. Yeah, I think I'm better, but that doesn't matter. All the things you've taught me, I'm having to apply right now. And I might start crying now. I start bawling. I'm like, you're right. This thing's going to be fine. This thing's going to work. She goes, I'm going to be a great teammate. I'm going to practice harder. Danny's been talking to me about, I can't remember what the technique thing is. She goes, until I fix this, Danny's not going to trust me. I'm going to fix it. And she just went to work on being a better teammate and fixing the things you guys had told her to fix. And she goes, the rest will take care of itself. And sure enough, I mean, I think it was like 4 or 5 more matches. If I remember correctly, you can go back. It was about 4, 5, 6 matches later. Whatever happened, happened. And that's really when the thing took off. And it was because she called me out on violating our thing, which was coach's hat. And to her credit, she was way more wise and disciplined than Dad was.
Yeah.
Well, now I do it for a living. Like, that's all we do is recruit. Here's what I tell every recruit that sits at my desk with me at UAB. Don't go anywhere that you have even the slightest inclination that the head coach has deceived you, has lied to you, or hasn't told you the absolute truth. Now to know that, you better not just be talking to me because I'm the head coach and I'm a pretty good salesman. Like, you should be talking to the parents of players that play for me now. You should be talking to administrators. You should probably find out from some academic people if the head coach is true what he says or if he's full of crap. You should look at my track record. Like, you should know everything about me, because you can't go anywhere where the head coach is full of it. It's just a salesman. Because once you get there, then you're going to be miserable because you're going to feel deceived. And if you feel deceived, the freshman year, as we know, is hard anyways, no matter what sport, fall sports especially, volleyball, football, fall freshman athletes have it very hard because they go from playing in high school to having a job in college. And so I tell them that, and then I tell them my girls' experiences. And this, Danny gets a lot of credit for this. And I know you're involved, but I'll give Danny a ton of credit here. I knew sitting in that office that she was telling the truth, that everything she said was was going to come true once Tori got there. And part of that is because she was transparent. She didn't sell us a bunch of crap. She did give us vision. She gave us mission of how you guys were going to get there. She gave the landscape of why she was there, why you were there. But it was not all fluff. It was not all rainbows and roses, right? And I think in recruiting as a parent, you need to do your work. Like, don't just feel good because your kid's getting recruited, because every parent's lying if they say their ego isn't fed by their kid getting recruited by Louisville or Texas or Nebraska or whatever. And our experiences were the coaches that sold us on something. There was something different once they got there. The coaches that were honest with them once they got there is exactly what the coach said it was going to be. So you eat it, you own it. Good times, bad times. It is what it is. And that's the approach I've taken. That's what I'd tell parents. Thing I'd tell you parents, make it very simple. Interview players and parents that are on the roster now. Like, you guys, when you guys, if you're being recruited by Louisville, you're crazy not to call the Dilfers. Like, you're just crazy. Tori will talk to you. I'll talk to you, right? You're crazy not to talk to the De Beers. You're crazy not, it's the Scots. I can go on and on. Claire, call Claire, right? Claire's as awesome as a human as you'll ever meet. She's charismatic. She's articulate. Call Claire. She'll talk to you about Danny and Dan. Like, she'll talk to you about the Louisville experience. But I'd say that for every school, because there are players that have a smile on their face out on the court, but that are miserable inside because of their athletic experience. Don't go to that place, right? Because you're going to end up being the same way. You're going to have a smile on your face because everybody's going to tell you have to have a smile on your face, but you're miserable inside. I don't know a volleyball player at Louisville in my time with Tori there, and we still follow you religiously, that's miserable, right? They're all fulfilled because they've all been told the truth going in there. And whether they're a role player, they're not getting the time they thought they were going to get, they got beat out, they knew that was a possibility, and they own it. It's not Dan's fault. It's not Danny's fault. They didn't lie to me. They told me we're going to keep trying to out recruit you. Like I tell my players, every year we're going to try to out recruit you. So every year you got to get better so we can out recruit you. And there may be a time that you go from a starter to a backup, but we're going to expect you to be the best backup in the country. And you're probably going to help us win a game in the fourth quarter because you took on that role responsibility. And that's much how my impression of how you guys have done it. And I think that's a big part of recruiting. Just you got to know what that young person's going through at that place to properly choose